If you keep repeating the same patterns with your health after 40, I want you to hear this clearly. You may not need a new plan. You may need a new level of awareness. Because most women are not stuck because they don't care, and they're not stuck because they're lazy. They're not stuck because they absolutely have no discipline. Many women are stuck because they keep trying to change behaviors they have not actually learned how to notice. They know they keep starting over. They know they feel inconsistent. They know their evenings fall apart. They know stress affects their food choices. They also know that they want to move more, plan better, eat better, sleep better, and feel stronger. But they have not slowed down long enough to ask, what keeps happening? When does it usually happen? What comes before it happens? And what structure is missing? This is where real change begins. Not with more pressure, not with another random reset, not with one more Monday morning promise to get back on track. It begins with awareness. Today, I want to talk about why you keep repeating the same patterns after 40 and how strategic journaling can help you stop guessing and start seeing what is actually happening. And before you think, I'm not really a journal person, stay with me. I'm not talking about journaling as a diary. I'm not talking about writing pages and pages about your feelings. I'm not talking about tracking every bite, every step, every mistake, or every number. I'm talking about strategic journaling as a structure for truth, a way to notice what keeps showing up so you can build structure around what keeps breaking down. Here's the first thing I want you to understand. Awareness is not overthinking. Awareness is noticing. There's a big difference. Overthinking sounds like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get it together? Why do I always fail? Why am I like this? Awareness, on the other hand, sounds like, what happened here? When does this usually happen? What was I feeling before this choice? What structure was missing? What do I need that I did not have in place? That shift matters because overthinking usually leads to shame, but awareness leads to wisdom. And if you are a woman over 40, this matters even more because your life is probably not simple. You may be carrying work, family, aging parents, marriage, hormones, stress, ministry, business, home, responsibilities, emotional load, and a schedule that does not always leave room for you. So when your wellness starts breaking down, it is not enough to say, I just need to be more disciplined. That may sound strong, but it's often not accurate. You need to know what is actually happening because your body is giving you data. Your schedule is giving you data. Your energy is giving you data. Your emotions are giving you data. Your food choices, your follow through, they're all giving you data. The question is not whether there is information available. The question is whether you are paying attention to the right information. Let me give you an example. A woman may say, I am just bad at staying consistent with workouts. But when she starts paying attention, she realizes the pattern is not that she does not care about exercise. The pattern is that she plans workouts for the end of the day when she's already depleted, needed by everyone, behind on dinner, and mentally done. That is not simply a motivation problem. That is actually a structure problem. Or a woman may say, I have no self-control at night. But when she starts noticing the pattern, she realizes she's under-eating throughout the day, making 100 decisions, pushing through stress, and then hitting the evening with no plan, no margin, and no emotional capacity. That is not just a snack problem, that's a rhythm problem. Or maybe she might say, every weekend ruins my progress. But when she looks closer, the issue is not the weekend itself. The issue is that the weekday structure disappears. Over the weekend, meals are unplanned, sleep shifts, routines loosen, and she has no weekend strategy. Again, that is not a character flaw. That's a pattern. And when you can see the pattern, you can stop treating yourself like the problem and start addressing the structure that's missing. That's why I teach strategic journaling, not because women need another assignment, not because you need to write more, and not because your worth is found in how well you track, but because you cannot build structure around a pattern you have not identified. Most women are trying to change the behavior first, but the behavior is often just the evidence. The late night snacking, the skipped workouts, the inconsistent planning, the emotional eating, the I'll start again Monday cycle. Those are the visible symptoms. Strategic journaling helps you look underneath and ask, what is the pattern behind this? What's triggering this? Where does this keep breaking down? What support do I keep needing but not putting in place? And here is where I want to be very clear. This is not about obsession. I do not want you obsessing over your body, your food, your weight, your steps, your calories, your mistakes. That's not freedom. And that's not stewardship. There is a way to track that becomes shame-based, controlling, and exhausting. And that's not what I'm talking about. Strategic journaling is not about tracking everything. It's about noticing what matters. It's about asking wise questions. It's about paying attention to the repeated patterns that are affecting your ability to steward your body, your time, your energy, and your choices well. Think of it this way. If the same thing keeps happening every week, it's not random. If you keep breaking down at the same time of the day, it's not random. If you keep losing momentum after the same kind of stress, that's not random. If you keep starting strong and fading by Thursday, that's not random. That's a pattern. That pattern is giving you information. The question is whether you will notice it with honesty instead of shame. That's the heart of strategic journaling. Honesty without shame. Truth without pressure. Awareness that leads to structure. So if you want to begin using this in a simple way, I want you to start with 4 questions. First, what keeps happening? Not what happened one random time, but what keeps happening. Is it evening eating? Is it skipping movement? Losing your morning routine? Not planning meals? Feeling exhausted by 3? The list goes on. Name the repeated pattern. Question 2. When does it usually happen? Time matters. Context matters. Does it happen when you're tired, when you're rushed, when you haven't planned? When your schedule changes, when you feel alone or stressed, or when you're holding too much? That matters. Question 3, what usually comes right before it? This is where women miss it. The behavior is rarely the first thing that happened. Before the food choice, there may have been stress. Before the skipped workout, there may have been an overfull calendar. Before the late night spiral, there may have been emotional overload. Before the weekend drift, there may have been no plan for Friday through Sunday. Do not look at the behavior, look at what happened before the behavior. And the last question is, what structure is missing? That's the most important question because awareness without structure can turn into frustration. You don't just notice the pattern, you need to respond to it. If evenings keep breaking down, what structure would help? A planned dinner, a protein-focused snack, a 10-minute walk, a simpler meal. The list of questions that can help you with a structure is endless, okay? This is where change becomes practical, not dramatic. Practical, where you notice the pattern, you identify the breaking point, and you build structure around that specific place. And this is why I do not believe in random journaling as the main solution. Random journaling might help you process feelings, and that can be valuable. But strategic journaling helps you lead your life. Inside Stay Fit, we use a strategic journal to help you build the structure you need quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. That matters. And you can build structure that starts with awareness. The truth is, journaling is key to sustainable wellness. Have you incorporated journaling into your wellness? If you keep repeating the same patterns after 40, I want you to take this with you. You're not stuck because you need another random reset. You may be stuck because you have not clearly identified the patterns that keeps breaking down. And once you can see the pattern, you can begin building structure around it. That's what we talk inside my free Facebook group, Biblical Body Stewardship for Women 40 Plus. If you want support learning how to build simple, sustainable structures for your health, faith, and wellness in this season of life, I would love to have you join us there. The link is in the description. And if this video helped you, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who keeps feeling like she's starting over and over again. Sometimes one honest conversation can help a woman stop blaming herself and start seeing the pattern clearly. Before you go, I want you to answer this in the comments. What is one pattern you're starting to notice in your wellness right now? Can't wait to see you inside my Facebook group and in the next video.